Good morning, everybody, on Tuesday, December 8th. I hope everybody is doing well and staying happy and healthy this holiday season. Hey, one quick update for you. Some of you in the Lake Country office specifically, and I would bet it's coming to the North Shore, are getting bombarded with texts from Maureen. And I would tell you this, if Maureen's that desperate for gift cards, we're all in trouble. So if Maureen's texting you for gift cards, just know that it's a hack and someone's messing with us. And if she really is texting everybody for gift cards, again, we're in deep trouble. But no, that's not the case. So totally fine. Just ignore if you get a text for gift cards from Maureen today, tomorrow, this week, next week, whatever it may be. Heck, I may be the next one reaching out for gift cards, but you can still send them our way if you want to. Anyways, all right, moving on. So we just last week finished November transmittal, and we have 13 people who reached capping status in the month of November. Talk about a perfect time of year to cap in your business, heading into the winter months, the winter season. So let's celebrate a handful of people who capped in the month of November. All right, so kicking us off, the first person who capped in the month of November just made a move over into real estate about 18 months ago. Callie Adler, leaving the corporate world of America. And if you want to see spreadsheets on spreadsheets on spreadsheets, reach out to Callie Adler. Phenomenal business planning mindset that has really helped her launch her career in real estate. Callie Adler, congrats on capping in the month of November. Cool. Next one up. Aletha Champagne continues to just absolutely crush it in the month of November. Congrats on capping. Recently bought her first home over in the Tosa area. Moved in with her boyfriend. Congrats, Aletha, on big things coming in you and your life. And congrats on capping in the month of November. Next one up. Probably one of the coolest dudes in our market center, Kyle Clements. Always an even-keeled approach. Another one of those people who've been in the business for a very short amount of time, but has done a really, really phenomenal job for him and his clients. Kyle, congrats to you and your business on capping in the month of November. Next up, this person is having an absolutely banner year. Andrea Crivello, could not be more stoked for you and your business. That's up over 100%. You've been in the business for a long time. You've made major strides in 2020, especially considering the gap in business that was had during the spring. Super stoked for you and your business. And if you haven't checked her out, she is the racing real estate agent. So check her out on Facebook, and she's got a cool background in racing professional go-karts. So Andrea, congrats on capping in the month of November. Next up, capping in the month of November, Stacy Fleming. Talk about someone who's had major life events, got married. Even though she moved to Pittsburgh, her business is still on fire, doing things at a really high level. Stacy Fleming, congrats on capping in the month of November. And then next up, Paula G continues to just strive forward, makes progress, doing big things on the Midcoast Realty team under Tim Knuth and having really great guidance there. Paula Galaki, congrats on capping in the month of November. You've earned it for you and your family. Congrats, sister. All right, next up, William Lauer, the president of the North Shore Kiwanis Club. FYI, a little plug for William. If you haven't had the opportunity, the Kiwanis Club is doing a Zoom with Santa. I'll tell you, my kids did it 2 weeks ago. It's phenomenal. They jump on Zoom for a 10-minute spiel with Santa. He asks what they want for Christmas. He reads them a story. It's a great fundraiser to support the North Shore Kiwanis Club. William Lauer being the president, so a little plug there. But William, congrats on capping in the month of November. Cool. Next up, Smin, another person who had a major life event, getting engaged to Ronnie, one of my all-time favorite dudes who got me sucked into the bourbon Ponzi scheme, but I'm all for it. Smin, congrats on capping in the month of November. Thank you for everything you do in the Market Center and providing leadership to so many people in your even-keeled approach. We appreciate everything you do. So Smin, Stephanie Minnick, thank you, and congrats on capping in the month of November. Next up, who I like to call the every time I run into Bosco and Sue Nikolic, I feel like I'm running into George's parents, George Costanza's parents from Seinfeld. Bosco and Sue Nikolic are possibly one of the funniest people in the Market Center. Incredible people. Congrats on capping in the month of November, Bosco and Sue. All right, next up, Rick Reuven. Talk about a guy whose business is absolutely on fire during the winter season. These guys capped in 30 days. Rick Reuven, congrats on your continued success with Falk, Reuven, Gallagher. And it goes the same for Katie Falk here with her granddaughter at the esteemed Heiliger Hegel Ski Club. Katie Falk, congrats on capping in less than a month. And then the third partner in this crew, Molly Gallagher with her husband Peter. Congrats on capping. Molly, Rick, and Katie, congrats on capping within 30 days of your caps resetting in the month of November. Congrats, guys, on all your incredible success so far in 2020. Next up, Tony Spot. So get this, Tony Spot is officially, maybe this is known, maybe not known, but just wanted to give the group a heads up. Tony is officially retiring from real estate after, I don't know, maybe 20, 30 plus years in the business. Her and her husband, Michael, are moving out to Seattle to help take care of some family members who are going through some health issues out there. But Tony Spot, even though juggling a lot of balls in the air as we all have in 2020, really going off into the sunset of her career in real estate in a major way. Tony, congrats on your success in 2020, and we wish you nothing but the best moving forward in life. Cool. Next up, Ross Treffer, the man. Oh, and he's on the charter fishing trip. I know those guys, Josh, and yeah, it's great. Ross Treffer, congrats on capping in the month of November. One of the most intentional and purposeful people. If you have any opportunity to grab lunch with him, coffee with him, you will learn so much. Ross is an incredibly giving person. Ross, congrats on capping in the month of November. Next up, the next two people are out of the Lake Country office. Mary Beth Freckman, hashtag 250. She knows what that's about. Congrats on capping in the month of November. Incredible to see the success that you've had in really building up the foundation to your business. And then the last one out of the Lake Country office, the other Mary Beth 2.0, the Milky Market is hot, baby. Mary Beth, congrats on capping in the month of November for you and your business. And a big shout out to my boy Brox right here, Brox 21. I see you, brother. All right, that is it for our cappers in November. Guys, congratulations on everybody's success. We're super stoked for you and your families. And we look forward to celebrating our next group of cappers here after December transmittal. All right, Lindsay Vranek, I'm turning it over to you for the update on, oh, real quick reminder, open enrollment is now available through Stride Health in Keller Williams. If you need health insurance through the health insurance marketplace, you have until December 15th to sign up, so check it out. All right, now I'm turning it over to Lindsay Vranek for Tech Tuesdays. Lindsay, what do we got?
All right, good morning, everybody. So today I wanted to piggyback off of Charlie and Maureen's training from this past Friday. So setting your 2021 goals. And the really cool thing about this is that there's a specific area in Command where you can do this, and then you can track your progress throughout the year directly in the report section of Command. So anytime you enter in a lead or a contact, or you're entering opportunities and you're moving it through that sales pipeline, you're able to track that progress to see where you're at with your 2021 goals. So you guys, I'm going to share my screen and actually show you where this is located. So hold on one second, bear with me while I share my screen. So if you haven't noticed, in the past couple of days, KW actually added this green bar on the home page of Command. So whenever you click on this, set my 2021 goals, it's going to take you into this Kelly guide where it's going to walk you through that process. But you can either click that, or if you want to then later on track your progress, it's going to be located in the reports applet over here. So if you're still new to Command and you're still getting used to what all of these icons are, you can always click on this red box, and that's going to extend out that menu to show you the names of each of those applets. So I'm going to go ahead, click on reports. And besides just your goals, you can actually track a bunch of different things within Command here. So you've got your database health score. You've got some other reports here with your opportunities. You can track your lead routing. If you're setting up email campaigns or text messages through Twilio, you can track that usage as well. But I'm going to focus on goals. And so this is going to show me my 2020 goals right now. And you'll see over here, this drop down, I can toggle between different years. So I haven't set my 2021 goals yet, but I just wanted to show you guys, this is where you can track those numbers. So how many leads, how many contacts are you entering, your appointment set, kept, agreements, under contract and closed. Again, these last 5 are going to be tracked based on the opportunities that you enter. You've got your profit tracker, activities breakdown, goal conversion rates. So all of this information here, all of these numbers, we're going to enter, if I scroll back up to the top, when you click on goals settings. So this is where it's going to take me to that Kelly guide. And once I hit get started, this is where I'm going to set my goals. So Brad Yates, I know you're on here and you entered these about a week ago. So if you want to just talk about how you entered these and how this is going to help you with your business, I'd love to hear your input on this.
Well, I went through and good morning, everybody. And I actually did this before this and I did some altering, but went ahead and set up my annual profit goals over there. What I did was factored in what my personal goal was, what I wanted to, what I wanted, and then I had to backtrack it, figured out what my expenses were going to be for the year. If you're on a team, you know what you're paying out, your percentage of what you're paying out. So you have to do it backwards. Your cost of sales. Again, that's expenses and cost of sales. If you're a single agent, you'll need to figure that out on your own, what you want to spend on advertising, what you want to spend on, if you're going to have an admin that's going to, work with you for each transaction, what all those expenses are. Then you want to go ahead and figure out what you want to make, and it's a backtrack thing. So once you do that, then you want to go, what I've done is looked at what I did last year and where I want to be on listings and buyers. And I figured 1/3, for me, it's 1/3 listings, about 30% listings and 70% buyers. I'm a new agent, been under 2 years, and I'm still at that point where that's about where I figured it all out. I don't do any leases, unfortunately. Now, this is where you come in and you've had the business plan. And for those of you that did the business plan, the last 2 pages, or I think it was last 2 pages, were your forecast for next year. And if you look at it, lines 1 and 5A, 1A and 5A, 1A was your commission earned for the year, and 1A was your number of units. And if you divide that out, you'll come up for listings what your average commission per unit is. And then the same thing with buyers, which was your forecast guide for buyers. Same thing again, commission earned divided by the number of units. And that'll tell you your average commission. Once you do all that, you just click next. And the great part about this, KW has an incredible plan, and it shows you right here your conversion rate. It's the funnel right there. You've got to do so many, leads, how many contacts. As you filter down, you're going to get those closed units. I think mine is at just under 30,000 leads for the year. Now, that seems like a lot of leads, but in my mind, the 30,000 is how many contacts you make with leads. And as I go back to what Charlie says everything is automated. So if I've got people set up on smart plans and they're getting monthly newsletters, I count those as my leads, as I'm contacting my leads. Am I correct on that, Lindsay?
So, if you're doing Facebook ads or if you are getting phone calls off of your signs, that's going to be a lead. That's going to be somebody that you haven't had a two-way conversation with yet. Once you do have that two-way conversation, then that lead becomes a contact.
Right.
So that's how that funnel is going to work. It starts out as a lead, becomes a contact, then you have an appointment set.
Exactly. How many touch it? Yes. So, you automate as much as you can. 2021, going to say it again, Charlie Stahl A, automated, set everything as much as you can and get your name out there. The more times people see your name, the more times they're going to think of you in the grocery store or whatever. And as that filters down, it lets you know, if you go back to this main screen there, it's going to let you know how many contacts you've made this year, how many leads. It does all that in your command dashboard. Or if you go back to reports, it will tell you, what you've done for the year. So click on dashboard there, Lindsay.
Mm-hmm.
Down towards the bottom, it'll tell you everything that's going on for the year. It'll tell you, oh, maybe yours.
Is yours different, Brad? Or was it in goals?
Yeah, it's
down here.
Yes. It'll tell you how many people you've hit. It'll tell you how close you've come. It'll tell you all your percentages, how many, how you are in your percentage of contacts, your leads, it tells you everything within there. So I know this is.
So yours is going to look way different than mine, being an actual agent. But this is just a really great opportunity to, you're logging into Command anyway, whether you're entering your contacts, your opportunities, you're doing your marketing in here. So check out this report section, click on goals, goal settings. And this is a great opportunity to track, your 2020 goals, your 2021 goals, and be able to refer back to that at any point to track your progress. So if you have any questions on that, just reach out to myself or Brad, but it should be really straightforward. As you can see, it just took me, once you have your numbers, if you have those from Friday, it takes you just a couple of minutes to fill out that Kelly guide and you're set to go.
Cool. Guys, the biggest thing with this whole thing is, right, like you go through the exercise of business planning. And what I find with most agents is it's great. They go through business planning. And then what happens is the business plan sits on a shelf or it sits in a folder until they look at it again next year. But they lose track of what they need to do throughout the year in order to maintain progress moving forward to achieve their annual goal. That's the biggest thing that the reports within Command will help you do, is it'll help you stay focused on the activities you need to do to drive your business forward to achieve your ultimate goal, which is why you do business planning in the first place. So if you don't have an action plan as it relates to after you've done your business plan, it doesn't mean anything. So leverage the tool within Command to help you stay focused on what you need to do to move your business forward. Cool. Thanks, Lindsay. Thanks, Brad, for the insight. And be on the lookout for Lindsay at 1 o'clock today, who's going through how to set up your goals within Command through tech training. Cool. Thanks, guys. All right. And then one final reminder, eEdge is sunsetting December 31st. So if you need to migrate off the platform, reach out to Lindsay. Don't be stuck in there with all your stuff in there. You don't know what to do. December 31st. All right, Kimmy, you're up for compliance.
Good morning, everyone. Before I jump into my slides, I just want to ask you all for a big favor. There is some glitches with compliance in Command where I'm not getting refresh of new files that are submitted. So if you could all do me a favor, if you have a closing in the next week or two, I'm hoping it'll all be resolved in the next week, but if you have a closing next week or two, can you please go in and verify that your opportunity is approved? And if it's not, in the comments, if you click the @ symbol and then start typing my name, you can send me a message directly and just shoot me, hey, this is closing, still needs to be reviewed. So please do me a favor and just verify your opportunities are approved to ensure we're all in compliance. So moving on here, I want to just remind everybody about Addendum CV. So this was created back in spring. I saw it used a little bit in the spring and then people stopped using it, but I am starting to see or hear about some delays, like closing delays or just issues with running up against a deadline where agents aren't able to get amendments signed or just, moving forward with the transaction due to one of the parties coming down with COVID. So the Addendum CV, it does address office closures, which sounds like those aren't going to be issues, but it also addresses deadline extensions in the event a buyer or a seller is subject to what they're calling a coronavirus precaution or having to quarantine. So I really encourage you to use it. It's only, applicable in the event, one of the parties does come down with COVID and you can't get amendments executed, extending deadlines. So this does create an automatic extension up to 14 days as the default. Once you receive notice that a party has COVID or, has to quarantine. So just a reminder about that. Feel free to email me. Every situation is a little bit different. So email me, call me with specific questions related to this. And then just a reminder, next week, Monday, our contract training at 1 o'clock, we're focusing on the vacant land offer to purchase. This is our first time doing this training. Steph will be running it. So please tune in if you do vacant land or have an interest in doing vacant land offers. We have our reminders, GMAR dues. So these are due by December 31st. If you wait until after December 31st, you're going to have to add $225 to your invoice. So avoid that additional expense and get those paid now. If you haven't paid those, you will be hearing from me in the next few weeks before the holidays. So get those paid and shoot me an email once you have those paid, or shoot Steph an email if you're a Lake Country agent. And we have 6 days to finish your CE. December 14th is our deadline for continuing education. There are 6 courses that are required. So if you're going through the WRA, these will automatically be in your shopping cart when you pay for those classes. There's a video option or a book option. So depending how quickly you want to run through the 18 hours. Next slide. One more slide. So then the big thing to remember here is after you complete your CE, what do you do next? It doesn't automatically renew your license. You have to go to dsps.wi.gov, click on that self-service tab, and then under the profession section, you're going to see a link that says renew license online. So you do have to take this next step to actually renew your license. And it's about a $75 fee to renew your license. We've got our numbers here, and I actually have a few more updates as of this morning, so they keep rolling in. So for all those agents who've completed all 3 requirements, that means continuing ed, license renewal, and GMAR dues. I think we're at about 69 as of this morning for the North Shore office, and Steph just said 43 for Lake Country. So we're getting there, but still quite a few of you who have yet to do this. So please get this done, or you'll be hearing from Steph and I.
Guys, it may sound like a broken record, and we talk about this. We've been talking about this almost every week since October. Here's the facts. Lake Country, congrats. You're roughly now over 50% of you who've hit a hat trick. The hat trick is you've done your continuing ed, you've renewed your license with DSPS, and you've updated your GMAR dues. North Shore, we're sitting at about 30% of you, right? It's going to start to get to the point where we're going to start texting you, emailing, and calling you every day for the next week until it gets so uncomfortable that you create action. And there's a line in the business world, deadlines spur action. Don't be the one that's waiting until the 11th hour to get this stuff done. So be on the lookout for more communication from us to encourage you to move forward so you're not doing this at the 11th hour. Go hit a hat trick in the next week and go renew your license and pay your GMAR dues. Cool. All right, now jumping into it, I'm going to jump in to lore, the language of real estate, and I'm going to look at some November numbers, and I'm going to give you insight as to what November is doing from a year-to-date perspective. right, guys? So let's jump into it. And I want to start with the lore report. And, we share this every single month at the beginning of every month to give you an idea of where we're at and what we're doing, right? And some of you have heard this, and some of you, this may be new news, right? But when you look at the language of real estate report, it breaks these metrics down into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of the most important metrics we look at when looking at numbers. And there's two things to look at, right? There's what I would consider your lead metrics. Your lead metrics lead to future production, and your lag metrics, which is the stuff that shows up in current production. And I want you to frame your head and your thinking around what's most important. Is it your lead metrics or is it your lag metrics? The truth is, it's your lead metrics. What's leading to future business development? Because all the stuff that everybody measures, closed production, closed units, all that stuff, that's good and that's dandy and that's money in the bank. But the lead metrics are what show up for future income for you and your families. So let's jump into it, right? And we've had this discussion. I've been tracking this on a monthly basis across these 8 metrics to show you what happens in a current month shows up in future months. So let's take a look at what I mean by lead metrics and lag metrics, okay? Oops. So lead metrics, right? When you look here across April, May, June, July, when we look at their lead metrics, right? These are the bottom boxes down here, these 4 metrics. There's what's showing up in, what happened in April from a lead metric showed up in May as a lag metric, right? Current production. What you showed up in the future production in May showed up in current production in June, right? And so we've talked about this story about looking ahead to predict where the market is or where your current business is, right? You can do the same exact metrics for your personal business, right? So then let's take a look. So this is what we kind of saw the impact of the spring heading into July to where we start to saw the market recover. And where I start, when I'm talking about the market recovering, I'm talking about our lead future production metrics, which is what we're tracking. Those are the 4 most important metrics you should be paying attention to. Those are the activities to business development, right? So then all of a sudden we hit August, September, October, November, or August, September, October. Again, you can start to see the major trend swings here are what showed up to current production in these months, right? So you can see here in August, the lead metrics being listings taken volume, contracts written units, and contracts written volume showed up in September, closed units, closed sales volume, so on and so forth, right? You can see here in October was another tremendous month in terms of the lead metrics, right? Positive listings taken units, positive contracts written units showed up in October, closed production units. And again, for perspective, guys, this is total MLS. This is not KW. This is all agents, all companies, the whole MLS, right? So what do you think, knowing what we've known about lead metrics and lag metrics and future production versus current production, if you looked at October, just throw in the chat section for me. If you looked at October's future production or lead metrics, how do you think November would have shown up? Throw it in the chat section. Brad Yates said up 40%, right? Come on, anybody else participating out there? Lead metrics, what are they gonna do? Same as October, right? And you're totally right. Ross Treffert, what happened here is we saw tremendous lead metrics here in the month of October show up here in the month of November for incredible lag metrics in terms of what showed up in November for current production. And what I mean by that is probably the 2 most largest indicators of what's going to show up in the future are these 2 numbers, contracts written units and contracts written volume, right? If you look at just those 2 metrics and then where it shows up in closed units and closed sales volume, it's pretty indicative to future business results. So what does this mean? It also means that what I'm predicting here is if you look at contracts written units in the month of November, right? What I'm going to say is December will probably be another ridiculous month versus comparative Decembers. And yet, when you compare it versus September, October, November, you're going to start to see a little bit of a slowdown. And the reason why I know it's going to start to slow down in terms of the trend metrics is that the listings taken units for the first time in 3 months have been negative versus prior year. And the other thing is if you compare it essentially from July, August, September, even into October, we saw around a 30% increase on contracts written units. And in November, we saw a 21% increase. Now, a 21% increase is incredibly, incredibly high, but yet it's also telling me with listings taken going down and contracts written units going down slightly from where they had been trending, December will be phenomenal. And yet December, January, February, we'll start to see the trends start to slow down. So don't predict for a plus 24, plus 29, plus 22% months. They'll still be very positive months, but they will start to normalize for the marketplace, just as a heads up there. And then you can see here is the impact that November has had from a year-to-date perspective. So if you want to track some of your metrics, again, against these 8 metrics, all of which can be found in the multi-year trends. And if you don't know what the multi-year trends is, it means you need to go back to watch the business planning clinic to understand what that report is. And we'll show you what it is next week too. But you can see here, November, what essentially the run we've had since July, the major impact it has had on a year-to-date perspective. Closed units up almost 6% and closed sales volume up 15% so far year-to-date through November 2020 for the Southeastern Wisconsin marketplace. Now let's take a look at pricing. And again, this is looking at November of 19 versus November of 2020. And I break it up, as I always do every month, in 3 price segments. First, let's start with the less than $350,000 homes. This accounts for 72% of the total inventory within the marketplace. When you look at it, total inventory in the month of November for less than $350,000 was down 31%. And new inventory units brought to the marketplace was down 6%. And again, if you go back, remember, the marketplace was down 5% in total new units brought to the marketplace. The majority of that was driven by the 72% of the inventory that is less than 350,000, right? When you look at the units that went under contract and the units that were sold within this price point, again, very similar to the trends that we're seeing across the total marketplace, up 17% on units under contract. This is indicative of future production that will show up as closed units later. And then you can see here, this is the lagging metric, up 19% of units sold in the month of November for inventory less than 350. Then if you look at median price point for those that sold, the marketplace, again, pricing continues to appreciate really, really strong. Median price point for this inventory, again, at 72% of the total market, was up 11%. And the price per square foot was up almost, well, it was up $10 price per square foot, or up 8% in the marketplace, up from $123 per square foot to $133 per square foot. So looking ahead then, when we go to the $350,000 to $700,000 range, right? The middle range, it accounts for roughly 21% of the total inventory. So again, if you combine these 2 price segments, it's 93% of the total inventory. And when you look at it, I apologize for this misspelling. This is November, not October. But when you look at November of 20 versus November of 19, total inventory from 350 to 700 was down 24%. The positive here is new units in this price point, which many of our agents play in because our average price point is above 350. New inventory units in the marketplace was up 4%. The problem is it's only 21% of the total inventory. So when you compare it, it doesn't offset what we needed to make up in the below 350 and what was lost in the below 350 from a new unit standpoint. When you break down units under contract, again, this is our lead metric, looking ahead as to what will show up in closed production in December and potentially January. This segment, again, this is probably the hottest segment across Southeastern Wisconsin, and it has been in 2020. It's up 43%, and the units sold were up 48%. Again, this is the lag metric within the data. The stuff, all the activities that people did before November is what that shows up for there. And then when we look at it from a pricing standpoint, median price point was up 3%, just a tick from $428 to $442 within this segment. And then the price per square foot up 10%, similar to what we saw in the below 350 price point, which was up 11%. So it went from $155 dollars per square foot in 2019 to $171. Again, the market continues to appreciate from a pricing perspective. And then finally, the last segment that we look at is the 700,000 plus price point. When you look at the 700,000 plus price point, it's only 7% of the total inventory within the marketplace. And when we compare November of this year versus November of last year, very similar trend that we saw across the other two price segments. Inventory in this price segment is down 16%, with new inventory units down 4%. Now, if you really look at it, last year there were 52 units that came to the marketplace. This year was 50. It's a negligible difference. And then when you consider units under contract, again, units under contract is indicative to future or leading production. It was up 48%, and units sold, the lagging metric within this price segment, was up 17%. Again, luxury, the luxury market above 700,000 across southeastern Wisconsin remains and continues to be very, very strong. And then when you see here from a median price point standpoint, it jumped from 910 to 920, a 1% difference, and the price per square foot within this segment up 3%. So what does this tell us? Well, here's what I know. All price segments across the three major price segments that we're looking at are continue to appreciate from a pricing perspective. All the leading metrics as it relates to contracts, written units, and all those sorts of things are the activities that are driving prices up as inventory continues to remain suppressed. And I predict that you're going to continue to see that moving forward into spring of 2021. So when I take a look, again, this is Lore Report, and I segmented this out for the east side and the west side, right? So this is the North Shore. And again, I broke it down. You can see the green metrics are our leading metrics. The lag metrics are the red metrics, right? Again, future production, current production. And I broke this out so we can look at it versus how we did in November of 2020 versus November of 2019 versus our peer group. And we're always looking to outperform the market average, right? So when you look at it from current production, this is all the activities that you guys did that led to closings in the month of November. This group had an absolutely killer month, right? You can see the MLS was up 23% on units, up 36% on volume. KW North Shore Group as a whole, up 78% on closed units, up 114% on closed volume. Ridiculous. Now, let's take a look at future production. So this is all the stuff that you guys did. Listings taken units, listings taken volume, contracts written units, all the stuff you guys are doing to secure your financial stability heading into December, January, February. So same thing. If you look at it here, listings taken unit in the month of November this year versus last year, the market was down 5%. This group was up 11% on the east side. Volume up 1% in the market. This group was up 48%. Contracts written units, again, this is really good. This is healthy for the industry. This is really good, especially if you're a heavy listing agent. It means there's continued extremely strong demand within the marketplace, and we continue to outpace the market average. Guys, on the east side, congrats on an incredible November and outpacing the market average. That is success. And then you can see how it correlates to the year-to-date numbers versus the marketplace. And then as it relates to, again, trend lines, when you compare the North Shore and East Side marketplace in the trends within the marketplace versus our peers that sell essentially from the downtown marketplace up to Mequon, Cedarburg, Grafton area, you can see the trend lines within everybody's business here and where everybody continues to go. Again, the one thing I would reiterate in all of this, and when you look at all of these metrics and this data, this is indication of your guys' success. North Shore Group, you absolutely continue to kill it. And it's incredible, incredible stuff. So now let's jump to the west side, right? West side, same thing. Lake Country Group, let's take a look. Again, we're going to take a look at future production and we're going to look at current production, our lag metrics. So we're going to look at our lag metrics first, right? How did the Lake Country do versus the peer group of Metro MLS in the month of November? They crushed it. I mean, it's stupid. Up 63% on closed units, up 100% on closed sales volume, up 56% on listings sold, up 61% on listings sold volume. Stupid results. Lake Country, congrats. I mean, there's not much more to say other than like, psh. Next, future production. What is going to show up in future production for you guys, your families, and your incomes looking ahead to December and January, right? So let's take a look. What are you guys doing to secure your financial stability moving forward? Is listings taken units up 27% when the market was down 5% in the month of November. Listings taken volume. There's two things I would say about this though. what's so unique about the Lake Country marketplace is because the average price point is so high. You know, if someone takes a $3 or a $4 million listing, which is not unheard of for the Lake Country marketplace, it can swing listings taken volume, even though units are up 27%, listings taken volume down 26%. To me, I don't worry about it. Why? Because agents control their units. The market gives you volume. I'm not worried about volume. So again, looking ahead to Lake Country's future indicative success, this is a major, major metric that we're paying attention to. Listings taken unit in a market that's down on inventory. Again, indicative to future success. Lake Country, congrats on a stupid month of November. And then you can see here from a Lake Country perspective, how this compares versus the peer group from a year-to-date perspective through the month of November here, KW Lake Country here versus Metro MLS here. One other thing I want to point out in a caveat, right? Oftentimes people like to poke holes in these numbers and they say, oh, that's great. You know, Leanne Plooster just joined from Shore West. Like, oh, you know, you're up 100% because you acquired all of Leanne's volume. False. What happens is in the MLS and all these stats is that your volume history follows your license. So if we acquire an agent whose business is down 20%, we acquire their down 20% number. It doesn't automatically mean the business is up 100%. So I want to make that very, very clear that your volume history is associated to your agent ID in the MLS and that the brokerage assumes whether you're up or you're down. Again, what am I getting at in all of this? This is all true organic growth that you guys are seeing in your businesses. Stupid results. Congrats to everybody in Lake Country as well as North Shore on your continued success in the month of November, as well as year to date in 2020. So jumping ahead, here's the brokerage trends on a rolling 12-month average to give you the trend analysis. The Lake Country marketplace, for lack of better terms, everybody is selling homes. I mean, First Lover Delafield, the largest player in the market, up 30% so far year to date. KW Lake Country, the second largest, up 88%. Shore West Oconomowoc up 13%. Again, the Lake Country marketplace out west, it is in fuego. And one other thing, I wanted just to show a comparison, right? And I hate comparing, but I think it's important for you guys to understand something, especially out in the Lake Country crew. And if you're in the Lake Country office, hear me on this, right? Here's what you need to know. I always say comparison is the thief of joy. Comparison is the thief of joy. And yet, here's what I also know. Why is the North Shore group so successful? They have a very confident group of people who build on each other's positive energy and lift each other up in the marketplace because they know they have the full weight of KW behind them to help them and their clients buy and sell homes. Lake Country crew, I want you to know this, right? I hear all this stuff about First Lover. I hear all this stuff about Shore West. Let me give you a little bit of perspective. First Lover Delafield, which is the #1 player in the market, is at 284 million in closed volume so far year to date, right? Lake Country is at 256 million. You're only roughly 30 million off their production so far on a year to date. And if we continue trends like this, you'll surpass First Weber Delafield in 2021. And oh, by the way, the Shore West Shorewood office, which is like the Shore West East Side office, the dime of their portfolio, the gem diamond of their portfolio, 244 million in closed production year to date. Oh, Shore West Oconomowoc, the one that everybody thinks is so great and high and mighty, it's 232 million in total closed production. The reason why I share this with you, with the Lake Country crew and the North Shore crew respectively as a whole, is guys, you're doing incredible things. Believe it, have it come across in your energy, and you will find yourself to be incredibly confident in your ability to serve your clients. And those who you surround yourself with to support your business is super important and vital, and that you should have the confidence to do what you need to do. And this is a very good comparison as it relates to where you are in the marketplace. And so I wanted to share that with you from a sense of continue to take share, continue to do your thing, and you have everybody in support behind you in doing, in ensuring your success. So guys, congrats on a killer 2020. And then finally, as a recap across the total marketplace, you can see here, we show this every month. Here's the, here's what I like to say. Yeah, the market's doing well, but everybody's kind of hovering around where they've been, and what they're always kind of getting what they've always gotten, except 4 major offices. The KW Germantown group up 143%, now cracking the top 25 in the Metro MLS. The KW Lake Country group now cracking the top 10 offices in the Metro MLS, up 88%. Southwest holding on to their #2 spot in the MLS, up 22%. And the North Shore crew up 34% and could surpass over $1 billion in residential sales in 2021. Guys, again, these results are a collection effort of all your guys' efforts and what you do to build your businesses every single day. Congrats on your success in 2020 and November of 2020. And then you can see here the top brokerage breakdowns as it relates to market share and their trend analysis for year-to-date 2020 from January 1st, 2020 to December 7th through. So this was through yesterday. One thing to note here, interestingly enough, the top 6 brokers control 60% of the total market share. After that, it splinters very, 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 very fast. So there you can see that. Awesome. And then as a result, because of all the success, what does this mean? It all leads to profit share, right? So what do we got coming back to you guys for November insights in the form of profit share for KW Milwaukee? $103,000 is going to be paid out on December 21st. December 21st, be on the lookout for your bank accounts for those of you participating in profit share. That's 196% increase over November of 2019. Right? Year to date, we will have contributed $788,000 in total profit share across Milwaukee, and lifetime, it's over $3 million in 5 to 6 short years. Right? So I share with you this perspective because last week we had an incredible group of people, Jay Schmidt, Janine Warner, Will Stale, Jonathan Newby, Kevin Gardy. All 5 of these associates are in our 100% club. What that means is they're getting more in profit share than what they pay out in their cap. We had the phenomenal opportunity where I led a discussion with these guys around how and why they took advantage of the profit sharing opportunity. Be on the lookout. This recording is available to you, and we'll be sending it out this morning in the KW Insights and Resources email, along with some cliff notes around what my big takeaways from our conversation with them were on how they took advantage of the profit sharing opportunity to build passive income wealth for them and their families. So be on the lookout for that recording. It's a private recording and you have to have the link in order to view the conversation around profit share and how they've taken advantage of it. Cool. All right. And then now we're jumping in to November year-to-date results and activities. So we're going to go through this, as Mandy likes to say, Kentucky Derby style. It's going to fly through it, and you will post this to social media for everyone to take advantage of. Home Run Club, again, November Home Run Club. What does it mean? You took a listing, you wrote a contract, and you closed a unit. So it means you got paid in November, and you're going to get paid again in December. Schroeder, leading by example. Launch coaching, Amanda Schroeder, congrats on a Home Run Club in the month of November. Andrea Crivello, Annie Jerzik. Sophia Berry, just absolutely continuing to kill it. Tony Spott, I mean, even though she is moving on and sunsetting in her career, continues to do a handful of business in 2020. Congrats, guys, on a home run in the month of November. Here, $1 Million Month Club in the month of November. Annie Stabler continues to absolutely dominate. Congrats, Annie Stabler out in the Lake Country office. Bradley Wabashewski had a great November. Kathy Shaw and Jill Fink, John Lorenz, Katie Neville, Peter Gossman, William Lauer, and here's what I want to leave you with. Kirsten Lindstrom, right? Hear me on this. Kirsten, I got to give you a shout out. I was in a store that we all in the North Shore frequent and shop, and the owner of the store stopped me and said, "Hey, Charlie, I got to tell you something. Kirsten Lindstrom is phenomenal." I said, "Oh, really? Why is that?" I referred somebody to her and I said, "Oh, really? How do you know Kirsten?" He goes, "I don't. She just shops in my store frequently. I love her energy. I love her ethos. And I knew someone who was moving to the area. And so I wanted to reward Kirsten for her service to our store." Great example of what you can do or the vibe you put out in the business that you can attract. So Kirsten, congrats. I wanted to share that story with you and share that with the group of how important it is to invest in your reputation and who you are and the energy you put out. Congrats, Kirsten. All right, jumping into it. Deej, what do we got for Lake Country, November and year-to-date volume for individual agents?
Yeah, so look at this list. You guys have heard these names already from Charlie on the last slide. John Lorenz, Annie Stabler, congratulations on an incredible November. And here's a new name you haven't heard, Carly Dembski, also on the slide before, but had a fabulous November. So congratulations. And year-to-date volume, Annie Stabler leading the pack. And if you saw her note, she just put something out there as a challenge for 2021, and we're going to hit that. So congratulations, Annie, John, and Mike Schaefer coming in there, ending up our 3 there. So congratulations to individuals for their success in November. And our team awards, you guys, Team Trimble and Gallagher Lake Country, always kind of the tip of the spear out here, making things happen for us. And Bark River rounding out our top 3 for team production. And then I also want to add year-to-date volume, Team Trimble and Gallagher Lake Country doing great things. And there's Plooster Property Group, a new name that you're going to hear, I'm guessing, pretty often out here. So congratulations, Keller Williams Lake Country, and all of your success, you guys.
Cool. All right, jumping in November, Lindsay Weber leading the pack for individual agents at 3.1 million. Here's something, guys, I want you to know. What does it take to crack the top 10 in the month of November when typically everybody starts to take off? You got to sell over $1 million in production. Little tidbit. Congrats to the top 10, all above $1 million in total production. Incredible stuff for the top 10 individual agents in the month of November. And Lindsay Weber, congrats on leading the pack in November. All right, jumping into year-to-date individual units. What happens? Agents control their units. The market gives you volume. Molitor leading the way at 72 units. Schroeder at 55. Oberbrunner rounding out the top 3 at 44. And you can see there, right? What is it going to take to crack the top 10 in units in 2020? I'm going to call it right now. I think you got to sell more than 24 units a year to crack the top 10, right? Congrats to the individual agents year-to-date units. And then you can see here how the units translate into volume so far. Individual agents year-to-date. Aletha Champagne, congrats at 8 million. Carla Florence, whose business is up almost 60, 70%. I don't know, something stupid. Carla, congrats on the year-to-date volume so far. And then jumping into November team volume, JSG, I think, don't quote me, but I think their largest November ever in JSG history. Same with Falk Groove and Gallagher. Potentially, don't quote me, potentially their best November ever at 13.4. Congrats to the top 2 teams in the marketplace on an incredible, incredible November. And then you can see where the rest of the group netted out from a top 10 perspective in the month of November. And then here, rounding it out, again, agents control their units. Market gives you volume. You can see here in terms of units so far, the top 3 really setting the pace. And just for perspective, guys, they may be the top 3 in our office. They're also the top 3 in the entire MLS. It goes Jay Schmidt, Falk Groove and Gallagher, Stalley Realty Group. And then rounding out number 4, Karen Trimble with Team Trimble. Congrats. The top 4 teams in the MLS, all represented by KW. Congrats so far in 2020. So there you are for units year to date. Big shout out to Marcus Auerbach starting his team at On Point Realty with 50 units so far. And then you can see here from a year-to-date perspective on team volume through the month of November. And be on the lookout. We will be posting all of the awards and year-to-date results here later this afternoon on the Facebook page, and we'll be tagging everybody who's in them. So be on the lookout. All right, education events. Mandy, we're rounding it out with you.
Great. Just a reminder, the spring listing extravaganza is starting January 28th through the 31st. So we'll be sure to share this graphic with you guys as well to use in any of your advertising for that extravaganza that we're getting started. So like Charlie just said, all about listings. We control the units. So next slide, unless Charlie, did you want to hit on this?
Yeah, one thing I want to point out, guys, spring listing extravaganza, I had a couple questions. These nuggets are to help you secure your listings, right? And for if you have teams or other things, we can help you pull your individual proof is in the numbers kind of information. What you have to understand about the spring listing extravaganza is typically in the marketplace, only 12% of new inventory shows up in January and February. Well, at KW, 17% of our total new inventory shows up in January and February. Why do we do it? We're doing it to push inventory to not really flood the market, but we're trying to get inventory to the marketplace sooner than when the spring market pops. Why? Because knowing that inventory is so low right now, it's a great way for your potential sellers to leverage the low inventory to drive the return on their investment up and create a multiple offer situation. So we do this in January every single year to beat the rush of new listings. Again, drive and appreciate the price on the investment that your clients can see in the marketplace. 12% of the listings pop in the month of January and February for the marketplace. We bring 17%. We outpaced the market by 5%, guys. So that's what the spring listing extravaganza is. It's a rally cry to help your clients get to the marketplace before the spring push to drive up their price and competition in the marketplace. All right, Mandy.
All right, today is day 2 of the National Business Planning Clinic. So a bunch of you were on it yesterday. It's airing live on KW Connect. So today is day 2. So log into KW Connect Live noon to 4 today for day 2 of that. We were offered an experience that is going to be Thursday, December 10th. So 2 days from now. We talk a lot about creating memorable experiences with our buyers. So we have a really great opportunity to jump on this event that they're doing in KW Southwest. So we'll email out the details on this, but it's all about creating an experience with your clients to boost your repeats and referrals and create an incredible client experience. So there is a registration for this. It's Thursday, December 10th, 1 to 3 o'clock. She's a great agent. She's a huge KW mega. So definitely worth popping into, checking out. Their recording will be posted on KW Southwest's YouTube channel. So if you do miss it, go ahead, check it out there and learn from Jeannie Wallach.
Cool. And then guys, just as a heads up, in the Lake Country group, December 16th, right after Agent Financials, Kristen Schlingman, who's in the North Shore office, leads an accountability group in the North Shore, where, get this, they started the group with about 7 to 8 phenomenal agents who hadn't capped. They all held themselves accountable. Now, I believe 90% of them in the group have all capped and are making incredible strides. So Kristen's going to go out to the Lake Country group on December 16th, right after Agent Financials at 11 o'clock, and to discuss what an accountability group looks like. And Julia and Diana will help lead the discussion around what an accountability group is and how to help you set your goals and hold you accountable to them in 2021. So be on the lookout. We'll share more information with you guys next week as it relates to accountability groups and what they mean. All right, Mandy, wrapping it up. December training calendar. What else do we have coming this week and next week?
Yep, little reminder today, we have launch coaching at 10:30. We have a special guest, Marcus Auerbach, is going to be talking about goal setting for some of you newer agents who don't have a lot of numbers to compare on from the past. So he's going to really walk you through, you can still goal set, you can still plan and track for next year. How do you go about doing that when you don't have the numbers on the KPIs like Charlie and Maureen went over last week? So check that out today at 10:30. Even if you're not in launch, go ahead, join in on that. Commissions in Command every Thursday, 1 o'clock with Jen. And then again, Charlie mentioned it, Todd Butzer, Agent Financials. If you're going to hit one training this month, make sure to mark your calendar for next week, Wednesday at 10 a.m. for Todd.
Cool. Mandy, thank you. Guys, here's what I'd tell you. We're wrapping up the last 3 to 4 weeks in 2020, right? And what you have to understand is we're coming down on the energy dial, right? We're coming to that precipice where the market is going to start to hit, right? Take advantage of the moment. Take advantage of January. Don't be the one that's setting your business up for 2021 the first couple of weeks of January, because the business will pass you by, right? If you need help, you need support, let us know. We're here to support you in any possible way we can. Lake Country crew, I'll let you guys jump off for the Lake Country meetup. For anybody on the North Shore crew who wants to stick on, feel free. I'll switch over to new listings and buyer needs. Guys, have a great week, and we will talk to you next week for the last team meeting of 2020. See you guys.